function of being. Earlier, we have made 3 angas: Kavacha, Argala, and Kilaka. They are to assure us, reciters, safety access to divine power. One should know. Accessing to divine power, one should be safe enough. Otherwise, the body and mind cannot stand that divine power. That's why Kavacha, Argala, and Kilaka are chanted. Similarly, which chanting mantra also, you will be doing Nyasa, Shadanga Nyasa. You are making Digbandha and then you move it. So when you access to divine power, body, mind has to be that much energetic to feel that divine power. That is the purpose of Kavacha, Argala, and Kilaka. So also Nyasas. Why we do Nyasa? Purpose is this. It's not purposeless, or it is not simply mechanical. This is how we create ourselves being safe to access that divine power. An electrician working on the live wire, what he does, he wears the shoes of rubber, which is, and also use the screwdriver, etc., with a insulated, so that he works on that power, he gets everything done, but it is not harming. That is the purpose of these things. That is the preliminary angas are for safe access. And these rahasyas afterwards, these 3 rahasyas is to instruct philosophy and the ritual worship. This is the earliest, what you call it, philosophy of Shastra. The beginning, you make your safe, you take all safety measures, then chant mantra, you know how to worship or understand. So the first one is the rahasya called Pradhanika Rahasya. Pradhanika is relating to primary matter. The secret relating to the primary matter. How the singular ultimate reality assumes the multiple forms of the phenomenal universe. We have seen that. The Pradhanika Rahasya, here we have seen, describes the differentiation of gunas taking place within the Devi herself and remaining at the unmanifest stage, Abhyakta Rupa. It was there, but in the unmanifest stage. Rahasyas attempt to describe this. It cannot be described, which is indescribable. The attempt here from the author to describe which cannot be described. So through Sumedha uses different images of mythology to refer to unmanifest states of being, beginning with a verbal portrayal of Mahalakshmi as supreme, formless form of Devi, containing 3 gunas in perfect but non-manifesting equilibrium. I can call back to 4th shloka. Sarvasya Dhya Mahalakshmi Triguna Parameshwari Lakshmiya Lakshmi Swarupa Samyapya Krishnam Vyavastitaha. Non-manifesting equilibrium. Sumedha described the symbols of her powers by showing what she is held in her four hands. On her head, the coiled serpent representing, symbolizing the cosmic cycle of time, and also the linga symbolizing the absolute consciousness, and the yoni standing for relative consciousness or Shakti. It is Shunya. The thing was there. Alone in an emptiness, filled with her own light. That's what the first appearance. The unmanifest, imagining as manifest. That's all. Definitely not. He is trying to explain the truth by secret, by imagery. Srota is trying. No forms are there. Everything is formless. He is trying to explain the unmanifest, abstract, giving a form to that, so that Srota can understand. So that first one, filled with her own light, called Mahalakshmi. He named it Mahalakshmi, that's all. Once again, it's formless. He has given the name, no form. To make us understand, he has given the name Mahalakshmi. That assumes a second form from the tamas quality, from her Trigunatmika. So tamasa quality has emerged in a second form. Usually, the word tamas is not darkness. It can be understood as darkness, inertia, ignorance, illusion, all that you can understand. All these words in English, kattalu, jada, agnana, maye, musuku, all these are the words to understand the tamas, which is not the pure energy itself. It is only that visible effect of tamas can be understood by these names. The tamas has no name or form. To understand the tamas form, we can use these names. Okay, hope you understand. Then how to understand further? She gives name for that. Mahakali, 4 arms, with proper names, with qualities personified. No other way we cannot use anything else. Mahamaya. What you say? Mahamaya Ashta. Maya andre illusion. Mahamaya, great illusion. Is that divine power that makes the phenomenal universe cognizable. Without Mahamaya, we cannot see this. The senses cannot see this universe. You understand this? Mahamaya cannot be ignored. This Mahamaya is a divine power that makes the phenomenal universe cognizable to senses. So Mahamaya is not bad. You cannot see. Without Mahamaya, you cannot perceive the universe. Please. And Mahakali, the great darkness, signifies pure tamas personified. When I say Mahakali, it's a personification of the pure tamas. That's all. Once again, there's no form. Can I find a form for a quality? No. It's tamas, that's all. Then Mahamari, the destroyer. not just destroyer, great destroyer. That indicates a form of Durga. And other names are Shudha, hunger. Hunger can be anything, not necessarily hunger for food. Thirst, once again. These are all the tamasic qualities. Please. Now you know what is tamasa. I don't say they should not be there. Without tamasa, we cannot perceive this universe at all. We cannot understand this universe. But it will be balanced with other also gunas. Otherwise, only tamasa, that's it. It is definitely asuratva. That's all. There shall be some hunger. But what hunger makes difference? Hunger is tamasa. Yes or no? Thirst is tamasa. No doubt. But the same tamasa, hunger and thirst for gnana, you have the positive side of tamasa. Hunger and thirst cannot be satvika or rajasa. No. Hunger and thirst remains tamasa only. But how it is used makes it evil or good. Hunger and thirst for knowledge is a positive side of tamasa. Hunger and thirst for desire, power, money, lust, all this the negative side of tamasa. So tamasa, satvika, rajasa, both have negative and positive sides. Just don't say tamasa is bad. No. Okay. Mahamari, great destroyer. What destroy? Destruction. Evil qualities. Yes, required. Nidra, sleep. If you go on sleeping the whole day and night, that is tamasa. If that nidra leads to samadhi, very positive. So also, Krishna, desire. It goes with hunger and thirst. What desire we have? A strong desire, very strong desire to merge with Atman. Strong desire to know self. Is it not tamasa? Yes. As it is, desire is tamasa. Its application is positive and negative. Ekavira, foremost heroic. Yes. But needs Ekavira, you can destroy also. You can go and fight with somebody. Give some blows to him, and he will give blows to you. But this heroism is required. You need that energy, that heroism to go with sadhana. You need Veera. See, I remember, most of you are reciting Sahasranama. Veera Goshti Priya Veera Naishkarmya Kamarupni. Veera Goshti is mentioned there. Kala Ratri. Dark night. One should promote that. Dhrutyaya, that is inaccessible, which you can't access it. She is Dhrutyaya, which cannot be accessed without tamasa. Hope you understand what is the tamasa gunas and how they are also positive and required. Next, Mahalakshmi assumes another form. It is pure sattva. 14th verse. Amityukva Mahalakshmim स्वरूपम अपरम नुपा सत्याख्येन शुद्धेन गुणेनेन्दुप्रभं ददौ pure sattva, and that receives the names Mahavidya. This is sattva, please. Great knowledge. Mahavani, great sound. Bharati, that is eloquence. Vak Sampat, Vaikhari, Vakjari, Vak, speech. Saraswati, the flowing one. Arya, noble one. Brahmi, Shakti of Brahma. Kamadhenu, wish fulfilling cow. That is nurturing aspect of Devi. Veda Garbha, the womb of all Vedas, from where Vedas have come. She is that, Saraswati. Sattva, Sattvic form, pure Sattvic. And Dhishwari, Dhish, Dhimahi, Dhishwari, sovereign of wisdom. I did not say this also. This is also having a negative, some of you. Great knowledge. You can have great knowledge to destroy also. Why not? Mahavani, great sound. Sound is great. It can be anything. Eloquence, Vak Sampattu, Vakjari. You can also start. You might have seen some people in North Karnataka. They wonderfully they start abusing. You don't get those words. That's also Bharatiya only. Speech in our hands, what is it? The flowing one, it can be also. The knowledge is flowing or ignorance is flowing. All these are there, of course. Kamadhenu cannot be negative. Veda not negative. And Dhishwari. Dhishwari is Dhi. All Gayatris will have Dhi. Dhi is thought, especially of an extraordinary nature. It is not just thought. How can I say that? A meditation in prayer or say generally wisdom, knowledge, intelligence, and all those with sattva guna is the Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Gayatri. That Dhi is this. That is this Dhishwari. I think best thing to explain. If you know what is Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat, that Dhi is this. After differentiation, each guna generates a pair of them, polarized pair of offspring, male and female. This polarization analogy here. In the scientific view, if you look at that, this male and female is symbolic of up and down, positive and negative charges, or north and south poles of magnet. Same thing, one more form, that's all. He wants to create both forms. Male and female, don't say it's male and female has come there. It is the two sides of the same coin. Again, for them also she gives name. Male offspring, Vidhi, creator, Virinchi, also creator, Dhatra, supporter. The female of that is Shri, splendor, Padma, lotus, Kamala, lotus, Lakshmi, good fortune, prosperity. And Mahakali's male offspring is Rudra. Rudra means holy one. Rudra, Shiva, Shankara, all that means causing prosperity. Shankara is auspicious. Sthanu is a name for Shiva. Sthanu means firmly standing, That means motionless. That's why Shiva is Jada. So calling Jada, he called here as Thanu. Kapardi, Jade, Jatadu, Juta. And Tilochana, three-eyed. The female Saraswati, also called Trayi. Trayi refers to three Vedas. Why not four? Here needs little explanation. In fact, there are only three Vedas originally from Brahma, from the universe it has come. And Atharva Rishi has written something else. The story goes in mythology. A lot of debate went on between Shiva and the whole divinities whether to accept this as Veda or not. Finally, Shiva gave ruling. Come on. Whatever told by this Rishi, Atharva Rishi, has some meaning in it. It is have all the qualities to be taken as Veda only. Add it. That becomes Atharva Veda by his name only. It's the only Veda has a name of a person. Personified, okay. Atharva Veda. So that's why he is called three only. Only three Vedas and Vidya, knowledge. Once again, Kamadhenu name is given to her. Bhashakshara, letter of speech. Swara, sound and speech. Maha Saraswati, the male offering is Vishnu. Include Krishna, dark one. Hrishikesha, here stands an end with joy. Vasudeva, god of gods. Janardhana, who is exciting, agitating. The female is Uma, name of Parvati, also known as Gauri, shining one. Sati, name of Durga, sometimes described as truth personified. Sati is, or Durga is truth personified. Chandi, fierce. Sundari, beautiful. Subhaga, possessing good fortune, blessed. And Shiva, the marriages that couples and Tamasi Saraswati, very interesting. They produced their soul. They didn't marry. Marrying takes place now. Mithuna takes place now. The couple are Tamasic Saraswati with Brahma of Rajasa Brahma. Rajasa and Tamasa combined. And Lakshmi of Rajasa with Satvika of Vishnu. And Satvik Gauri with Tamasic Rudra. Oh, this is the purpose. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara and their concerts are imaginary for us to understand this. The Brahma couple represents two characters, Tamasa and Rajasa. Vishnu, Narayana, Lakshmi Narayana refers to Rajasa and Sattva. Uma Maheshwara refers to Sattva and Tamas. What a wonderful combination. When we say Uma Maheshwara, you should understand, we are referring to Tamas and Sattva. We say Lakshmi Narayana, you should understand Sattva and Rajasa. We talk about Brahma and Saraswati. That is Tamasa and Rajasa. Okay? This is the real meaning of that. It is not that imagery. This combination leads to all the activity of the universe. This is the Rahasya. And Brahma and Saraswati, having married, their combination gave a cosmic egg. Rudra break it. By breaking it, Rudra, he released the primary matter which is not evolved. By that egg, breaking that egg, Rudra, he created a unevolved matter. The matter not evolved, which will evolve through the further and increasingly complex combining and recombining of different gunas into the 5 circle elements, tanmatras. So he created a matter which is not evolved, that will evolve afterwards through, which is complex in nature, combining the 5 circle elements called tanmatras. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Tanmatras. They combine with that 5 circle elements and then into 5 gross elements, Mahabhutas. Space, I will finish this another 10 minutes. Space, air, fire, water, and earth. Although the concept of physical world as consisting of 5 elements, yes, scientifically something, what is this people talking about 5 elements? I can understand this. Science that talks about it. They solve. Somewhere they wrote it. Where is that 5 elements and all? Scientific view I'm talking about. But if you look at scientifically also, air, water, and earth are, by scientific understanding, gas, liquid, and solid. Any doubt? Air is gas, water liquid, earth is solid. 3. By temperature, the states are determined by temperature. With the change of temperature, liquid can become gas, gas can become solid. So the temperature is 5. So this is a 5 element now. We already see that 3 they accept. Gas, liquid, solid. That's what they say. Science says 3 forms of existence. Anything in this world, on this earth, can exist only in 3 forms: air, water, and earth. But they can be interchanged by fire. Yes or no? Then 4 are become. All these 4 can exist only in space. You told scientists now, if they don't understand. They don't understand the primordial primary elements, gross elements. If they still stick on to only 3, according to them only 3, anything can exist, which is we learned in science, I know. I'm a science student. Air, water, and earth. Nothing else. Sorry, gas, liquid, and solid. And they can interchange. Depends on the fire. And all that together exists in the space. Is it not so? Very good. Vishnu and Lakshmi has nourished and protected that creation. And Shiva and Gauri dissolved it back into its source. And why I'm telling this is the Medha, Sumedha, place this in the past tense, as if to say, all this happened. He's telling in the past tense to king, or that happened, that happened, that happened. But that all happened, happens, and will also happen again and again and again in a never-ending evolution and involution. The Devi is both ever-changing forms of existence and the formless of pure being. That is the preeminent secret. Devi is both ever-changing forms of existence and she is formless of pure being. That is the preeminent secret. According to her manifestations, she is known by many names, many names. Yet no name can reveal, no name can reveal the fullness of her true nature. No names can reveal the fullness of her true nature. Then what is that? That is the infinite self. With this, we conclude Pradhanika Rahasya. Hope it is interested you. I don't know how was able to convey. I have my own doubt how I will be able to convey this.